What's up, world, and welcome back to the Global Frequency. I am your host, Nefarious. I almost made it through with a straight face.
And I'm Frequency Girl.
It's Monday.
It is not Monday. It is Wednesday.
It's Wednesday?
It is Wednesday.
It feels like the week just started and I'm already exhausted.
Yeah, no, we're 3 days
Well,
in.
at least we're halfway through, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Look at it that way.
On this wonderful Wednesday, we've got with us Jon Dexter here to tell us all about his creator-owned comic book crowdfunding campaign, Dime Store Detective, now live on Kickstarter.
How's it going,
Jon,
guys?
welcome to the show!
Hey, how's it
Glad
going?
to have you with us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. This is the first time on the show. I'm excited about it. You guys got a pretty lively show.
We do. We do indeed. Before we get going any further, let's say hello to everybody in the chat.
Talk today, can you? What, did you have a stroke?
No, I didn't have enough coffee, I guess. I've been working like nonstop since this morning.
Oh, poor baby.
Oh, she's getting sassy with me now. We've got Michael Bancroft with us. We had Dave Brink was first, actually.
Yes, I can see it on mine. So
I don't know if he said, yeah, you should bring it up. I don't know if he said first.
Hail.
He said hail.
Hail.
So technically,
And
he
then we
does
have
not.
Michael Bancroft.
So technically, he does not win the first on scene award.
So
that does go to D-Wag
Does
again.
that make him? Does that make it?
I hope.
Apparently,
I hope it
also
does.
had a stroke. 'Cause I can't.
D-Wag, let us know. Was that 3 in a row?
I don't know. I have to go back and check.
Go back and check, because if it was, then he
Might
wins
just
the
be
mug.
two.
He wins the mug, and if it wasn't, then he's only one away.
Yeah.
After D-Wag, we had Collision Bomb, as well as Mo Biggs.
Hello, Biggs.
Glad to have you guys with us in the chat. We've got General Piggy. What's up, my friend?
Hello, my friend.
We've got Hex Allen with us as well.
Hex did a great job on Sunday karaoke for my birthday. Much appreciated. You are the best.
It was fantastic. Hex is a real
He's got
crooner.
an
He's going to be
awesome
joining
falsetto.
us again in the future.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, really awesame. So, John, before we get into the show,
also did a great job performing
Who?
on karaoke. D-Wag.
Oh yeah, D-Wag was there. Yeah, he sang "Smoke on the Crack Pipe," or no, "Dust on the Crack Pipe."
Dust.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
It's a real serenade.
It was.
John, before we get any further and get into the book, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Where do you come from?
I live in Michigan. I'm currently residing in South Bend, Indiana, on a job. So that's why there's the whole hotel room background there. So, but I've been creating comic books for a while now. My first Kickstarter campaign was last year with my comic Alpha Dogs. That was fully funded. Then I did Alpha Dogs issue 2 back in March, and now a new comic, Dime Store Detective issue 1.
Yeah, and what kind of comics do you like to read?
Anything. I'm a big fan of indie comics. Brian K. Vaughan is kind of my go-to guy, and of course Mark Millar. So anything really, mostly indies, is kind of my bread and butter. That I enjoy. When I was younger, it was Marvel, but now that I've gotten a little older, it's mostly indies.
Right on. That's pretty cool. Are there any titles currently on the stands or in the shops that we might be familiar with that you enjoy reading?
Yeah, right now I'm reading Nice House on the Lake by the author of Something is Killing the Children, and did another one, something Department of Truth. So I'm kind of been a fan of his work as of late and been reading his stuff.
Something is Killing the Children was pretty good, I gotta say.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
Nice House on the Lake is really, really fun too.
Yeah, I hadn't actually heard of it, so now that you
you have to check it out. It's really good. If you like horror, thrillers.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, and then I didn't.
Oh, you chickened out?
I wasn't sure if you would like it.
I had like bones and stuff on the cover, right?
Yeah.
Were you talking about House on the Lake or Something's Killing the Children? Because we read Something's Killing the Children.
No, it's in the
Oh, okay. Anyway,
Sorry.
what comic books would you say helped shape your appreciation for the medium?
Well, like most kids of the 90s, teens of the 90s, I was exposed to comics by the TV show X-Men, and I became enthralled with comics after that. I was full speed ahead, using my paper route money to buy back issues of X-Men, anything that had to do with Wolverine and his rival Sabretooth I was a big fan of. So I kind of came in right at a great spot. It was shortly after X-Men 1 came out and broke all the records for being the highest selling comic book, supposedly, of all time. So that's kind of was my first exposure, and I became a huge fan of comics, mostly X-Men after that.
Hey, what's up, Jay Birds? Thanks so much for tuning in, brother. Glad to have you with us. Yeah, D-Wag, this is the Alpha Dog guy, indeed. We will be talking about that a little bit as well.
Yeah. Issue 3 actually comes out next month, so I've been slowly prepping that too.
What comic books inspired you to try making one of your own? Like, what comic book, when you read it, you were like, I could do that?
Well, I never thought I could do that. Like, it was something easy. I've always been very enamored and respected comic book writers, Chris Claremont, but I would say Watchmen, and especially Why the Last Man, the way he set that up, Brian K. Vaughan again, that really was, I loved the anthology, as it were, of that ongoing series, and how he was able to do cliffhangers with all those issues, and just his writing style I was a huge fan of, and I really kind of wanted to emulate that in what I did. So I would say he was the biggest influence.
You sure you didn't read Watchmen and go, I could do that?
Yeah, I mean, I would put Watchmen as my all-time favorite comic, like I'm sure like everybody else just about, but I absolutely, and there's a motion comic Watchmen that I've watched many times. It's really good, and that's what kind of inspired me when I did my Alpha Dogs trailers. If you go on my Kickstarter and go back, you can see the trailers for Alpha Dogs. They're really awesome, and the one for issue 3 that comes out next month is going to be even better, so stay tuned.
So I'm aware you have a background in screenwriting and cinema, which helps a lot when working with frames on the page. Do you have any formal education in storytelling through sequential art?
No, not really. It was kind of learn as I go. I went to college for a semester until I ran out of money. I graduated high school and studied screenwriting, so that's where my expertise, and most of the time I've spent wanting to break in the screenwriting business. I was able to be a semifinalist twice in the Nicole Fellowship, which is put on by the Academy Award.
Yep.
I was in the top 180 out of 7,400 people 2 years in a row with my screenplay Weeping Tree. So I got a little.
For those of you who don't know, the Nicole Fellowship is very competitive and highly sought after award given out by the same folks that do the Academy Awards. And every year, 5 of the 11 finalists go on to win a cash prize as long as their total earnings in motion pictures and television writing does not exceed $25,000 by the time the award comes around. It's a great way to break into film writing, and many semi-finalists have gone on to have exceptional careers in film and television, including Gavin Hood, who's best known for directing X-Men Origins Wolverine, and Aaron Kruger, who not only wrote Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, but also Dark Side of the Moon and Age of Extinction. So, some pretty big names have come out of the pool.
Yeah. So I got some interest in my work after that, but 99.9% of the screenwriters it didn't go through. So I decided to turn my Alpha Dogs story into a comic book. I mean, it'd be way too expensive to make it to a screenplay anyway. And I already wrote a comic book about 10 years earlier called Steelhawk that fizzled out. Yeah. It fizzled out quite quickly. So
I was going to say, I can't find a copy of it anywhere.
No, it's in some quarter bins in my local comic shop somewhere.
But it got made? It got made?
Yeah, I made it. I
Bro,
self-published
hook a
it.
brother up, man. Like, send me a copy. I want to see. I want to see.
I'll be honest. I have no idea. I know one. I know one person has theirs in pristine condition. I've moved so many times that I think I have one issue somewhere, unfortunately. So, but
I get it. He's gonna make me hunt it down. So many
good
people
luck.
do this. So many
It will
people are
be
like,
me.
"I'm not going to help you out. I don't know where it is. Blah blah blah." And then I
It'll
go and
be
I hunt it
quite the
down.
treasure hunt. Yeah,
I will show up to your next book signing and I'll slap it down on the table and be like, "Sign it."
I would be
Yeah.
very, very impressed. I would be also very embarrassed too that if you read it.
Don't worry. Anthony Figueroa said the same thing about the first Justice City Chronicles. So, in the indecipherable words of the ever popular Carrie Nicole, these days everyone's got a side hustle. When you're not busy telling stories with pictures, how do you get that guap?
Like my day job.
Yeah, that.
Oh yeah, so I work as an inspector, so you can see my yellow shirt. I'm actually inspecting concrete, testing concrete, and building. Actually, I'm working for the last 2.5 years at the South Bend Casino, South Bend where Notre Dame plays. They built a huge hotel there at the casino, and that's been my life for the last 2.5 years. So that's my
So you
side
inspect
hustle.
a rock.
Sorta, yeah, aggregate, yeah.
That's right, because when you get bad concrete, right? Like it cracks and falls apart, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we're a
Yep.
fan of the crack on this channel because crack back up in this chat, smoking crack, day, bow.
All right.
So
That's funny.
So tell me about your previous crowdfunding experience. How does Dime Store Detectives stack up against Alpha Dogs?
It's just as good a quality as Alpha Dogs. It's just a totally different genre, totally different story. So Alpha Dogs, like I said, it was last year. I was able to get it funded, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of stress. I didn't get funded until the last 6 days, and with Alpha Dogs 2, I was able to fund in the first 10 days. So I'm building my audience slowly but surely, and people have loved Alpha Dogs. It's basically the story of this dog with the power to heal from most any wound. He's smart enough to understand human speak, and he's got a slightly heightened strength. Him and this other dog with the same abilities, who's much older, and their human owner have been on the run from this mercenary group called BlackRock for many years. And then we pick up on the story. They're settled down in a farmhouse in South Carolina, seemingly finally at peace, but their owner brings home her new boyfriend who has manipulated her to telling her about the dog's abilities, which she never has, but she's lived an incredibly lonely life on the run with her two dogs. But little does she know, he knows of the dog's abilities and has created this formula that once in possession of the dog's blood, he can create his own dogs with incredible powers. So that's what we picked up. It's a lot of drama, it's a lot of adventure, and people have really enjoyed it. So if you're a dog fan, if you're a comic fan, if you love adventure, then you're going to really enjoy Alpha Dogs. So issue 3 comes out next month.
This woman's got two super mutant dogs on the run. Why didn't you make them cats? Single women prefer cats over dogs, in my experience.
Well, because he's actually he's inspired by my own dog, who's a pit bull mix. We lived in a town where they had outlawed pit bulls, and I'm a firm believer that it's not the dog, it's how they're raised, much like children, that dictates their personality. So I modeled the dog Buck, the main character of the story, after my own dog Pig, who is a great dog. But so we had to move, and then that kind of was the genesis of creating this dog who's got a heart of gold, but is feared by humans because of his breed and his size. It's kind of like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but with a dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw in some of the promotional material, the woman who calls in when she sees him on the beach says she's not sure if he's a dog or a bear, a white bear. So it's a large dog. I mean, yeah, pit bulls get a bad rap. We got Derek Clay with us. What's up, brother? Thank you so
How's it
much for
going?
tuning in. Glad to have you with us. D-Wag's telling Mo all about the stuff that he lets his mom buy him for Christmas. He says he sent her the link to buy it. She's super lucky I let her buy me super cool gifts. You're super lucky. Yeah.
I'm
super cool gifts.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. So I'm like, wait, I didn't get any.
No, you didn't. No, but I let you buy me gifts. Yeah, all right. You know what? Why don't we start taking a look at Dime Store Detective? First off,
Okay.
run us through the pitch. Who are the protagonists? Who's the antagonist? What's the central conflict? And what are the stakes?
So, Dime Store Detective is kind of like told in the same fashion as Stephen King's It and True Detective. We flash back and flash forward. In this case, it starts out in the present with this body that's been hung in a sacrificial style and Christ-like style in this forest in the Appalachian Mountains. It's the third victim of the serial killer, and the detective comes upon the scene. His name is Detective Donald McInerney. He's the hero of the story, the protagonist, and he's there because even though it's not his case, it's the same spot that his father and uncle back in 1981 buried a bunch of rival bodies during their moonshine war back in 1981. And as you read the story, you go back and forth, and 1981 is told in black and white colors, and the present is in color to help differentiate the two. So in 1981, there was this moonshine family named the McInerney brothers. It's 4 generations in North Georgia and Athens that are, have their own still. They're bootleggers, and they've kind of run the town, as it were. And then this rival gang comes in that are connected to the Dixie Mafia, who in real life, the Dixie Mafia were very, they kind of ruled the South, the small towns with an iron fist. The cops were intimidated by them. They buried a lot of bodies. And so they try to run these guys out. And it erupts into a bloody civil rivalry, really. And there's a lot of killing, a lot of murder, and there's this evil entity connected to it all. And then it seemingly stopped when McInerney, our main character, is 8 years old, and then it picks up again here in the present with him pushing 50. This cop that's kind of against the establishment, and to the best of his knowledge, this entity has returned, and he's got to try and stop it. There's a lot of mystery. It's a lot of supernatural elements to it, and there's a little bit of the Jeffrey Epstein element story kind of to it as well, with the elite people of the Old South.
Nice. Mobig says they sound just like some good old boys.
Yes, yeah. Imagine. Well, I describe it as kind of like if you trade True Detective and Stephen King's It in a very, very dark episode of Dukes of Hazzard, then you'll kind of get Dime Store Detective.
Nice.
I was definitely kind of like on the vibe with the Moonshine War. I know a little tiny bit about that, and the idea that the father, the grandfather, they were in some dirt back in the day, like hauling off bodies and killing people off, burying them in mass graves. That's my kind of thing.
Yeah. Then you'll really enjoy it.
The son is like a detective. He goes, I guess, straight. He's not carrying on the family business of whiskey and murder. And then I guess some killer strings somebody up at this spot almost as a way of like uncovering the past and everything. And I was with you. I was down on it. And then you said Epstein, and I was like, what? So go into that a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, so this doesn't kind of come into play till issue 3. So there's this group of people. I don't want to give too much of the story away because I don't want to confuse too many people, because it plays out. It's going to be 8 issues in all. So there's this group of people who have this secret society that it's kind of a sex cult, to be quite honest, in the story. And they kind of try to call to this entity, and it answers. And that's, without giving too much away.
That's in the vein of the Stephen King True Detective kind of I guess, material where we're talking about like potential elder gods, like, you know?
Well, not elder gods. No, this entity has been trapped. Like I said, you don't find out until issue 2, when it becomes kind of unleashed. But in the past, but yeah, it's been around forever. It's not. I don't try to narrow it down to being a demon, an alien, or whatever. It's just this evil being that's always existed, and it inadvertently is released. And in 1981, it's seemingly destroyed, only to pop up in the present time. And it or someone else might be trying to get the detective's attention by stringing the serial killer stringing this girl up in the very same spot that the detective's father and uncle left these bodies. And to make it even more of a point, he has shoved old moonshine battle that they made in her throat when we come upon the scene at the beginning of the story. So someone is trying to get the detective's attention, and as the story goes along, we find out why.
Probably because, I mean, you know, if it's this entity manipulating the serial killer, is he aware of his grandfather and father's checkered past and like how they were moonshiners?
Oh yeah, so
it's like,
the inspiration
not a
for the
secret.
character. Yeah, so the inspiration for the character came from a podcast I listened to about the Dixie Mafia, and this one guy was a hitman for them, and he took his son to the bar. The son knew everything about what his dad did, but to the son, the dad could do no wrong, and he was the greatest human being in the world. That's kind of what helped form the character for Donald McIntyre. So he knows his dad is a moonshiner. His whole family has been moonshiners. It's tradition, and he doesn't think there's anything wrong with it because it's a man's law. It's not like it's God's law. It's the government's law about moonshining. So he's well aware his dad takes him to the bars and stuff, and he doesn't believe that his dad's a murderer, and maybe he's not. We'll find out as the story progresses. You know, the true story, and he becomes a detective to kind of. He still carries the family flame of, you know, my family are not these horrible, murderous, wretched people that have been, you know, saddled with this reputation throughout the years, and he's going to prove whether it kills him that his father is actually a good man and not this notorious murderer that he's been portrayed throughout these years. They're in the county. They're a very famous family for being, you know, a very notorious family in the county, which of course they would be because, you know, for the last 40 years, they've been heralded as, you know, one of the most dangerous families in North Georgia.
We're having a conversation about cars up in the chat right now.
Okay.
The car
Yeah,
on your campaign.
It's honestly one of the most attractive things about the campaign is the custom car. Everybody been like talking about that.
Well,
so.
but yeah, you can purchase it. So the car
We're
is
going to
kind
talk
of
about it a little bit. Definitely, like
Yeah.
I actually want to go into it in detail because, you know, it is people's add-ons and extras are of particular fascination to me generally.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We had a few people.
Do you want to go back and say hi to everybody?
And,
Yeah.
What did we say?
go
We had Derek Clay come in, right?
Yes,
we saw
we
that. Said that.
Hi to Derek.
Mo
Clay.
Biggs. Oh, we had El Padrino.
We had Juanito come in.
Let's go, baby. What's up? We had
We had
Arvid.
I would say.
Right? We had Arvid from Crowfire Studios.
Yes.
We got Eric Grant. John's a great writer. I really enjoyed his stuff on Alpha Dogs. I'm looking forward to this one too. That's awesome.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Raiden Radio.
What's up, Josh? How's it going? We got Noah with us.
Wow. Hey Noah, how fast can the car go? As fast as you can.
It's a Hemi Barracuda, so you can go pretty fast.
Ooh, Barracuda. Yeah, I think that was that everybody? I don't think that was everybody, but you know.
Maybe.
You should keep better track of these things.
It was.
Yeah, it's your job.
It is.
Right? Okay.
But I was chatting about
Cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
And you're all wrong. El Camino for the win.
The 69 Camaro beats that. Oh.
Well,
Coach Bomb says, haha, I gave my son a 71 El Camino, but I can't keep reading it because someone changed it. I'm gonna stab you. I have sharp objects near me.
I put it back.
SS Yellow with black stripes for his graduation. It sits in my garage.
Yeah, he doesn't drive?
Nice.
I mean, I hope nothing bad happened to him. That would be really...
I mean, you'd probably want to only take that out on, like, special occasions. You know, like, keep it covered.
Noah wants to know, isn't Barracuda an 80s song or something?
It is. It is.
By Heart.
Yeah.
But it was totally different. It was about a reporter that was saying that they were lesbian sisters. So that's actually how the song came about.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, things you learn things every day, right? All right. So, how did you put together the team on this book?
Well, it was really just a cold call on Facebook under I think, Writers Looking for Artists. And I just said, hey, I'm creating this comic Alpha Dogs. And they sent me their work, and I loved it. They were so much better than everybody else. They're out of Argentina, Stone Tower Studios. And so they did all the artwork for Alpha Dogs. But for the interiors for Dime Store Detective, it's Luca Ciccitti. He's an Italian artist. He's been terrific. He captures that noir style that I wanted really well. So I've been really happy with him.
Yeah, he looks really good. And Stone Tower is doing the color and the letters?
Yeah, and they're doing the covers. Yep.
Noah says his perception of time is warped. Yeah, I thought it was Monday. Mo was correcting us that Barracuda is a 70s song,
and then
not an 80s song.
Blew Noah's mind.
Yeah, right.
Right out.
Yeah, well, I mean, Noah's like 17, so, you know.
Yeah, but he doesn't watch anything after, like, or I guess listen to anything either after, like, 1980.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Weird kids. Weird kids these days. So, do you have any additional marketing or advertising driving people's eyes to this campaign?
Mostly just social media. I mean, that's about it. The comic book conventions are pretty much over with. I did a little bit of talking about it at the last Comic-Con I was at, and I'll be talking about it a little bit more. I have an October 8th, I'll be at in Holland, Michigan at the Geeky Experience. But the only comic that I actually have to show people is Alpha Dogs, so that's pretty much what people asks about is the Alpha Dogs comic. So, but yeah, it's pretty much
Gotta say hi real quick to Sumo Thori. Crept on in while we were talking about cars and music. Mm-hmm. What were you laughing at?
Darren Wagner said Dirk sigh because he said that 70s was the best era of music.
Yeah, we're blowing hot and cold with Derek Clay, right? Like sometimes it's but
well, I agree with the Camaro,
right?
Not so much with 70s as the best music.
Mo says Dirk is allowed to love disco if he wants. I mean, yeah, it's pretty cringe, but that's his opinion. Sure,
he's allowed.
We are allowed. Yeah, we are allowed to be wrong about stuff. It is America. Noah says the 90s is obviously the best because I think that's when Wonderwall came out.
He thinks. Wow, it's something other than 1980 that you listen to now.
Oh, the mystery just keeps getting deeper.
I vote for the 80s music the best.
I mean, I liked the 80s music also. I liked 80s film and television. I mean, the 90s were all right too.
All music.
All
not
music.
all.
Yeah, right. You just being so hyperbolic. You know. Oh, okay, sure. Getting raspberries blown at me. It's only Wednesday. So
notice how like half an hour ago it's like it's already Wednesday, and now it's like
it's only Wednesday. Yeah. Do you want to bring up the campaign page so that we can talk about it a little bit?
I guess. I could if my computer was not being.
Crunkcore is the best genre of music because crunkcore is eternal. No. Arvid, when did you find out about crunkcore?
If we're talking about genres of music that are the best.
I gotta know. When did you first come across crunkcore, my friend? All right, this is the.
What is crunkcore?
What are you doing?
I can't find the tab that I just shared.
You're on it right now. You're on the tab right now. You're looking at the tab. It's Wednesday. Jon Dexter looks like Noel Gallagher.
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not. I wish he had
hope
his
so.
money.
Derek Clay says, nope, the 70s had the beginning of metal, punk, Led Zepp, Sabbath, Maiden, but also other
fair.
great tunes. That is fair.
That
Yep.
is fair.
F your Oasis, Noah.
Arvid says he found out about Concord
Yeah,
yesterday.
see, I told you.
But it's awesomeness in the form of sound waves. Big says Fizz loves Crunk because of the clowns.
Because it never really
matured as a genre.
Oh, whoa.
Ba-dum-bum.
Bad enough that there were Epstein references earlier in the show. So speaking of the campaign page, right, why don't you walk us through this campaign? First off, let's talk about the physical book. It is a 24-page full cover comic, right? So I'm assuming it's saddle stitched.
Yes. It's
you-
Wellspring is the one doing it, and they do great work on their comics. You don't usually have to wait at all. They're pretty quick with their turnaround. So the comic itself is 3/4 of the way done. He's just turned in page 16. So with any luck, a few weeks after the campaign is over with, he'll finish up the artwork, and that's obviously the one that you have to wait the longest on. So.
Right, and you've printed 2 other books before with Alpha Dogs, so you know pretty much everything about like the process that goes into fulfilling a campaign.
Yep. I hate waiting on them. So
you picked your cover stock, you picked your paperweight, you picked your finish, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Who's the printer again?
Wellspring.
Yeah,
they've become very well known.
They have.
Yeah,
they have
really
indeed.
taken off
They've
in the
really
last
taken off in the past.
couple of months.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
it's
they have.
because
Their
Comic
prices are-
Impressions isn't as much of a competitor anymore.
Yeah.
It could be.
Right, but that's
So you said you're now 3/4 of the way through. On the campaign page when you launched, it said you were half the way through. So
exactly.
Did
So
you
he's getting it
finish
done.
yet another quarter of the book in this 2-week, 3-week period?
Yeah, well, not so much, but I created the campaign a month before I launched, about 3 weeks before I launched, just so I could put it out there for so it could be approved and I could have people sign up to be alerted. So that's at that time. But no, he hasn't done that much in 3 weeks, 2 weeks. No, it's been longer than that. It's just I hadn't. That's where he was at when I was setting up the campaign page to be sent out for approval by Kickstarter. So,
all right. So why don't you walk me through the tiers?
Yeah. So
that's not the book. That's Alpha Dogs.
I know. I was just scrolling.
Yeah, that's a stretch goal. So the tiers, you get the $5 PDF, and then it's $10 for the comic, which is a very, for the most part, cheap price point. Considering a lot of people are charging for 24-page comics, and even if you do that, you unlock any stretch goals that become unlocked as the campaign goes along.
Yeah, you're also offering shipping on this, right?
Yeah, you have the shipping. I think it's 6, which is fair. You get the shipping. Then I use the Gemini mailers. I bag and board them. The Gemini mailers have only grew in price, unfortunately, which like everything else.
Everything's up.
But I always do the Gemini mailers because I want to make sure the comic comes in pristine condition. And then you have the variant, which is $12, which you'll see as you go along. The variant issue, which is in the background of this.
Background. Yep.
Yeah, I wanted the variant cover to have the old pulp novel, the dime store novel feel to the cover. I've always been a big fan of those. And then for $30, you get your name in the back
and the variant. So you get both the regular and the variant and your name.
Yeah. You get your name on the back and you get an exclusive sticker as well.
Ooh. See, there's a big debate.
Our team sticker over here. Well,
big debate.
I'm sticker mark on my own team.
You have to be different.
I do.
You have to be special.
Hello. Pink hair. Weird. Hello.
Okay. There is a big debate, stickers versus bookmarks. Are you team sticker or are you team bookmark?
Well, I wear a hard hat at work, so I like having the sticker. That way I can put on the side of my hard hat. That's me. I don't think I've ever used a bookmark, and I just bend the page over when I read. So not obviously a comic, a
Man
regular
after my
book.
own heart. A man after my own heart. Let's just fold the spine over and give it a good crack while we're reading it, so we can read
Well,
it
like
with one hand.
That's a book. That's not a comic. If you lose your place in a 24-page comic, you need help. So
That's generally the idea. Like, bookmarks are neat, but I shouldn't need a bookmark for your 24-page comic.
no, I would hope not.
If I bookmark it, I'm never going to pick it up again. All right. Yeah. So what other tiers we got? We got the.
We have to say hello. We
got Java.
Hello, dear chain, hang low, do it wobble like your mo. Wobble is the best song ever. Hi, Java.
Good to see you, Java. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah. Chain hung low disqualified.
Because it doesn't feature Jib's chain hang low. So.
Oh, now number one. Oh, okay, that's where it was coming from.
This is what happens when Neff tries to read the comments because he reads them backwards.
I go up, not down. I swim against the tide. I go against the grain.
I'm the one that has to be different, right? Mm-hmm.
I don't have a choice. Yeah, swing low, sweet chariot. So they were talking about now the music CD.
Yes, D-Wag said that was the best CD of all time.
Because it was like in the 90s they started. Aren't they up to like now well into the double digits, almost triple digits? I found out the other day that they're still doing it. They're still doing that. Or they're still doing Kids Bop. It's one of the two.
I mean, I think they're doing
now 112. Exactly. Exactly. Now 112.
I feel like I'm 112. Does that count?
Hail, I'm not douchewag, by the way. Oh, okay. All right. I'm glad. That's not D-Wag. Yeah, the 70s. They have 70s pop too. Why are we looking at music? We should be talking about the guy's comic book. Would you put
That's all right.
Good. So we've got the five. We've got 5 comics, and then we've got another retail tier for 10 comics, I think.
Yeah, just in case. I haven't sold any yet, but you never know. It doesn't hurt to put them on there. Offer them kind of a discount.
Now 83 is the latest. I thought I saw now 112.
Maybe they don't go in order like you.
No. That's fair, right? And then after that, you've got interior art pages for 140. Now, are all of the interior art pages up there, or just some of them?
There's 16 of them on there, which there hasn't been any sold yet. It is issue 1, so I didn't really expect to sell any, but just in case somebody wanted some of the original artwork from it, I put it on there. So you get the issue 1 plus a page of the original interior art. I'll probably offer it with issue 2, because hopefully there'll be a little more of a following, obviously, with issue 2, because this is brand spanking new.
And then there's like a special Zoom call with the creator and writer and a t-shirt. So all you need to do now is send me a t-shirt and I pay
exactly
$200.
And I'll wait for the $200.
Right? We had our meet and greet.
Yeah, I always put. It's always a good idea to put some big. That was the biggest thing I could think of with this is the $200 one. So just in case.
Really, not the Challenger? You could just sell like the Challenger. It'd be like
yeah,
it's a Barracuda.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't it Challenger? Barracuda.
That's Barracuda's the Hot Wheels car, the custom car. Yeah. So that's after that's an add-on you can put on the Kickstarter. They don't make those anymore, those ones, so I had to order them. But yeah, it's after the car. The car is kind of a character in itself in the story. It's the bootlegger's car that they use, and it's 1973 Plymouth Barracuda with a Hemi motor, very famous car, and that car is passed down to the detective, and he drives actually that today. I wanted a car that kind of in the same vein of like your Dukes of Hazzard General Lee kit and the car from Supernatural, a really cool car that people will enjoy seeing, and it's kind of like I said, kind of a character in the story itself.
I used to have the General Lee Matchbox card.
So did I. I drove it till the wheels fell off. Arvid asks, do retailer packs ever sell? Serious question. What's your experience been?
My experience is I've sold 2 with Alpha Dogs issue 2. It was the 5-pack, and it was so. I mean, it doesn't hurt to put them on there. I've never sold the 10 one, but I have sold 2 of the 5-packs.
My response is that I hear from a lot of people who do have retailer connections, who are putting their books in stores, that the retailer packs do well because it allows the stores to purchase them through the campaign, get them early, get them fast. Usually saves them money too. So it really does depend on whether or not you're the type of person that has a retailer connection. If you're just offering like a giant bundle of your comic books for retail purchase and they need to authenticate that they're a retailer to you and you have no prior connection to anybody, then I probably don't think that they would sell. We didn't offer one on our campaign. Nobody knows who the hell we are. So that really didn't make sense.
Yeah, I figure. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything to put them in there, just in case. I mean,
yeah, Dark.
And that's another add-on is buying issue 1 and 2 of Alpha Dogs.
Yep.
Nice.
And that's you right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my ugly mug at the Glancing Capital City Comic Con of this year.
So,
looking at
the cost breakdown of the book, the art team is taking up about 35% of the funds raised, and the printing and shipping another 40%. So we know that shipping is $6, right?
Yeah.
And you're selling a $10 comic, so I'm wondering what the printing cost would be. Something between $250 and $320, $330, something in there, right? How many books are you ordering? How many issues?
I don't know yet. It's all going to kind of depend on how the Kickstarter goes. I haven't decided. I definitely under-ordered with Alpha Dogs because I've had to go back and reorder issue 1. So it kind of depends. I haven't decided yet. It's all going to kind of be contingent on how this does before I make up my mind.
We got Dean with us. Hello, friends. And then we got Noah asking, why is Dean here? And
but I do have to take back his wrench now.
And then,
sorry, Dean.
And then Jabba asks, why is Dean here? And Mo says, hey, Dean. Dean probably isn't even streaming tonight. Are you streaming tonight? You got to let us know so that we can tune in. He influenced a lot of people to turn off the radio record.
They're talking about Doug Clint, not
okay, not Dean.
Not Dean.
I was wondering.
So I'm like, I knew I had to fill that information in for you.
Wrong again, Noah. So yeah, we just talked about retailer tiers. Then we talked about the add-ons, the Barracuda. How did you go about getting the Barracuda? Did you order the cars individually and then print up a backboard and do the booster packing yourself?
Precisely. I printed up the front that goes on there over that backboard there.
And did you order the cars? Were they something you had to custom design?
No, they were retired cars retired cars, so they didn't make any more. So I had I had to order them off Amazon.
Oh, okay. So you ordered them individually?
Some of them individually. It was kind of I got some of them like 4 of them in one. I kind of had to piece them out because, like I said, they didn't make them anymore. So I kind of had to get them as they came up available for sale.
Gotcha. All right, cool. I thought maybe you hit up Hot Wheels and was like, "Ayo, I'm making a comic book." So
yeah, I don't have that many connections.
Been like, "Ayo, I want a special custom car. I know you make this one, but can I have it in cherry red?" And they were like, "Sure, we'll print you off. 2,000."
Yeah, I had find one specifically in that era, and plus the color of what the comic book car is. Which is that burnt orange, which was really popular.
Mo Big says Robert Plant was a good singer, but at his best He was at his best when he didn't ad-lib or try to banter with the audience. And the forest shall echo with laughter. Do you remember laughter? Cringe. Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't ad-lib with the audience either.
Maybe you shouldn't try and read the comments. Because
They're little...
ad-libbing, we have to get you glasses.
I know we do. We absolutely do. A lot of singers tried to emulate Robert Plant. No, a lot of singers smoke Robert Plant. Plant and Page, right? That's it's not a coincidence, right?
Hey, Kami Mark.
What's up, Kami Mark? We got Kami Mark with us, ladies and gentlemen. Krishna Kid, now on Indiegogo.
Back it now.
Check
back
it out.
often.
Right. Currently shadow banned for being too awesome. And Mark's previous work with Daredevil. Yes, hail the mods, hail the chat, hail spam. Hail Neff, hail John.
And Freq Girl.
Yep, there it is. There's hail spam. All right, cool. So, we were talking about the percentages, right? Above the artwork, how many books you're going to order, and then the rewards 5%. So, really, ordering these custom cars and like getting the stickers and everything, that's really only 5% of the budget. That's so much less expensive than printing.
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I didn't
Just
break it down. The project manager did, so whatever. It's not an absolute science by any means. It's just kind
Who's
of
the project manager.
Well, the guy who at Stone Tower Studios, he basically, I call him the project manager. He is the one that found the artists in their studio that he picked to do, and he helped set up the Kickstarter page. He did all the graphics and stuff. Lucas
Michael Bancroft says
Eureka.
Roberts in general should avoid attempting wit altogether. That's good. That's good. Cue the damn reaction gif. Yeah, that's the one.
But yeah, if you go to the campaign, you can read the first 7 pages. So it gives you kind of a nice little feel of what the comic is and whether you like it or not. I'm pretty proud of it. If you're going to see that, you got to go the opposit way. But
yeah, I realized afterwards.
It's all right.
Noah says Neff seems like the type of guy to count other people's money. I don't know if that's an anti-Semitic remark, Noah. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, because of the whole Anne Frank thing. So,
Right,
you know.
that's true. His particular, that's right, I have the clip, right? This particular Robert launched a zillion bands, and Rob Arnold launched a zillion, I don't know, booze.
Yeah.
No,
I think you were right the first time. You shouldn't
Leave me
answer
alone.
with the
I've been working since this morning,
It's true.
very
Neff
early
did
this
lots
morning.
Of work today.
I feel ya.
Deserves a cookie.
So do you plan to bring Dime Store Detective to stores?
Perhaps. I've got Alpha Dogs in about 5 LCSs, and I'm able to collect money off of one of them. So it's tough when you do the commission thing, and not commission, but we're basically. So I don't know. I may try to go to Diamond. I don't know. I think after this is done and Alpha Dogs 1, 2, 3 are published, I'm probably going to try to go to a publisher. And take those comics to a publisher and see if I can to get one. That way it'll be a little easier and help with the cost for me, and a lot more exposure, because it's basically just me trying to get the word out for my comics.
Yeah, right on. That makes sense. Would you ever consider bringing it to another platform, say Indiegogo or Zoop?
Bringing my comic book, Dexter Detective?
Yes.
Perhaps. I had absolutely no luck on Indiegogo with Alpha Dogs, so it seems with Indiegogo, you got to be in the in crowd, and I'm not. I'm just me, so it's...
Do you want to be?
I don't care.
Do you want to be on the in crowd? I mean,
sure. Anything. I just want to sell my comic.
To shows and sell your comic and hang out with people and talk to them, and it's not that hard.
Yeah, definitely. So
Bancroft said there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Clay said you beat me to it. Yeah. Yeah, I saw it earlier. I don't know if you put it up. Did you put it up?
I did.
Nudity in comics? Please put multiple layers of clothing on that lady.
That's the worst nudity you're going to see in the series. I wanted something that's really going to shock people and jump out when they see in the beginning of the comic book. But yeah, it's not like it's a TNA comic by any means.
You're right. You should probably clothe the woman if you want to bring the campaign over to Indiegogo. They do not like any sort of skin whatsoever. Noah says no one likes Neff, yet he's in the in crowd. That's true. That's true. What's up, Ale? Hey, Infinity Comics. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hail the in crowd, says Hail. What has been the biggest obstacle so far for you crowdfunding comics?
Oh, getting the word out. Like I said, it's just basically me. And I just started going to the Comic Cons this year, and I missed a lot of them. And a lot of them, they price you out anyway of a table. So it's kind of hit and miss. And so I've only been to 3, and one of them barely could count as a Comic Con. It was actually at a library, but it was still. I actually did pretty decent. It was Grand Rapids, but so that's been kind of definitely the biggest obstacle is just getting the word out. You can only post so much on social media before you're considered spam. So it's been tough. That's why I would kind of like to go to a publisher so that it would be a lot less work for me to try to get my name out there because. I've only really been doing the comic thing for a year now.
Right. And I mean, you've done really well. You've put out 2 issues of Alpha Dog in that time. You've got a 3rd issue on the way. And, you just started up a new title, Dime Store Detective. You've got 8 issues of that planned. So it doesn't seem like this is just a passing fancy for you. It seems like something.
Oh, no. I wanted to be a writer. Yeah, I wanted to be a writer since I was 15 years old. So it's been my life.
And that screenwriting definitely helped. It's obvious that you wanted to get into writing since you were young. And you really made a pursuit of that. So if you could give any advice to newbie creators, what would that advice be?
Don't do it. It's a lot of work. That'd be the best advice. I would say just kind of keep your mouth closed and your ears open, I guess. Try to learn as much as you can and before giving your opinions. That's what I would say. It's always a continually learning process. I learn something new every week on a Kickstarter campaign, and to write, you really got to keep evolving yourself, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You have to keep up in the game, stepping up and embracing new challenges, pushing yourself to write, to new heights.
Sometimes doing lots of research.
Lots and lots of research.
It's
actually what you're in the middle of right now.
I am.
Right?
I'm in the middle. I have
What was the book you just ordered?
Finding Salvation or something like that. It was Polish paganism and
Christianity. So what would you do? What would you do if if you're sitting at home and you get a notification that the book that you ordered on occult paganism in ancient Poland ancient Poland, no, in what was it, 1500s, 18th century Poland, and its battle with Christianity was shipped, and you were like, what? What would you do? Would you look at your partner acquisitively and go, "What have you been reading?"
Well, you missed the Polish folk medicine book too. So
that I did. Yeah.
What is that? You're right. It's for research for a comic book you're writing.
Oh yeah, for her.
Yes, I guess we're not saying that now.
No, you're not. You're keeping it under wraps until you have a full script. Yes. Shall I use the fire God gave me to burn incense all day long? No, thank you. Yeah, work is a B. I agree.
Yeah.
Doing it all day makes you tired and makes it hard to do a show. Honestly, I don't know how Bancroft does it. Oh, I do know how he does it. It's tomorrow morning for him, right?
Yes, but he still does work,
right.
And then
but
he
it's
draws
the morning
his
for him.
Book, and then he does the show too.
But it's not the end of his day. So,
Okay,
that's what I mean.
okay,
We have to
okay,
stream in
that's
the
fair.
mornings.
Yeah, right. I'm surprised you said that with a straight face. You made it all like, you made it through the sentence, and then you started laughing.
All right. So, do you want to tell anyone out there anything else about you that we haven't covered already?
Dumpster Detective is sitting at 82% funded. We're at the halfway point today, actually, and I'm looking for some more funds. It's a really fantastic comic. You're not going to read a comic book like this on the shelf anytime soon. It's got the elements of supernatural. It's got elements of mystery, of a lot of noir, if you enjoy that. So, if you in a little bit of history, so you're gonna really enjoy it if you give it a chance. You can get the PDF for only $5 and give it a look-see. So check out the campaign. You can see the first 7 pages and decide for yourself.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty fair deal.
Mo says Bancroft manages it by cutting down his daily show to 1.5 episodes per week, but we only do 3.
Yeah.
And Bancroft does like other videos.
Yeah, he does other videos. He goes live earlier these days. I honestly
like
don't know the schedule
or something
anymore.
like that. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but Bancroft.
Right. Sometimes like there's a new Bancroft video. I'm like, oh, I missed it. You know, and I go in, I see everybody chatting, and I feel
like
left
it when
out.
he goes live at like 4 a.m. on nights when I can't sleep because I'm like, yes, I have something to do.
We got a Diaz with us.
Check them out.
Hey, Phil.
What's up, Phil? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Arvid says, back in this book, John. It looks awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm interested in
Yeah.
it. I want to hear more about the weird moonshine family murder squad and the the
Barracuda
detective in the car and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good.
Yeah. Like I said, I about guarantee you're going to enjoy it. I believe the writing's pretty darn good and the art's cool, and yeah, it's like I said, it's not something you're gonna read on the shelves.
Yeah,
and there's only 8 issues to complete it, so it's not like it goes on for many years.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the schedule is anymore either. I get Bancroft stream notifications 17 hours after the fact. I agree. It's tough.
Yeah, YouTube is all over the place.
I'm gonna have
Sometimes
to
I
see
get
this
them,
Bancroft
sometimes I
effort. So you guys have talked about him so much.
What's a Bancroft? Just say what's a Bancroft.
What's a Bancroft?
That's clipped. Thank you. We appreciate
his
it.
shows are awesome.
Yeah,
They
his
are
shows are
very
great.
cool. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'll hook you up in the back room. I'll make
like,
sure you
I can
have his
try
YouTube
and-
link, and
and
you know what? If we
find
have
it.
it, you could drop it in the chat, right?
I never made.
actually
See, now
be
I
a-
regret following Mo's orders and taking Dean's wrench away because Dean has a whole document.
And
And
he
I
could
talk
just,
about
yeah,
making
drop
one,
it,
and
right?
then I
Never
just
do,
don't
right?
do it.
It's unfortunate. Bancroft is a lifestyle brand. It's fair. It's fair. There are a lot of lifestyle games out there where you gotta like devote so much time to keeping up with them. He is a state of mind, indeed. Yeah, I think that's going to be it while we look for the Bancroft link, and if we can't drop it in the chat, we'll hook him up, to the channel so he can watch a video or two in the back room. If you enjoyed today's content, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it because it helps us in the algorithm. And Frequency Girl wants to grow the channel. I do not. I think keeping it small and just intimate enough to talk to you guys who are our regulars is fine by me. And I don't want to get any larger and have to, be responsible for what I say on the internet.
We're at 529 though.
Somebody please unsubscribe.
No! Just shush! Don't listen to Neff. Only listen to me.
Okay, fine. And if you enjoyed the content, you can click the bell for notifications to know when we go live next.
And tune into the frequency.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.